All right, we're factoring trinomials. Now, if I took a simple, let's say binomial, let's say we looked at something like this, and I told you to FOIL this, you would take this first term and this first term and multiply it 4x squared. Then you would take this second term, and we call that the first, and take this term here, and we call this the outside because it's the term on the outside of the two. It's the term on the outside of the two binomials here. And then we would have gotten plus 4x. And the reason I'm explaining this is because kind of seeing this process is what's going to help you go in reverse here. Plus 6x, and then let's do a last 3 and 2, and that gives us 6. Now, I have like terms here with the 4x and the 6x. So I want to basically simplify my expression here. Now the key here is to understand that this middle term was a result of these two terms here. So basically this middle term is a combination of your outside and your inside. So when you look at this here, what you're doing is using these factors from your first and your last to come up with an outside-inside. So what I like to do is make a list of my firsts. So basically I could do 1v times 4v, or I could do 2v times 2v. And then the fact that this is positive tells me that there's a chance that basically either inside the parentheses it needs to be a positive and positive, or maybe I need to use one of these terms here. Because don't forget, this means 2v plus 3 times 2v plus 3. That's what this means here. And then I look at my terms for my last, which are 1 and 9, 3 and 3. Now what I'm trying to do is create a combination that when multiplied together will give me a result of 12. Well, if I do 2v times 3, I get 6v. Now if I use 2, I have to use this 2 because I still need it to be 4v squared. And if I use this 3, I have to use this 3 because I still want it to be 9, because that's what my last and my first are. And if I do 2v times 3, I'm going to do 2v times 3, and that's where I end up with the 6v. Now combine those together, that's where my 12v is. And that's what I want here. So what did I do? Remembering that my middle is my combination of my inside and my outside, I did 2v times a positive 3 and 2v times a positive 3. Now because these two repeat themselves, that's kind of why they go back and call it the 2v plus 3 squared, because this is multiplied by itself. It's repeated multiplication. That's what squared means. So that's where I get that from. Now some students will kind of use this idea of a well, I don't want to do that. Of this kind of box method that they use, and they basically, like, let's say I used, instead of the 2v and the v, let's say I used 4v and v, and I did 4v plus 9 and v times and the v plus 1. So that would be I would get a 4v squared plus 9v plus 4v, and then on the outside 9, which does match up with the 9 there, but the problem is my 9u and 4u would have given me a 13u, or v, I'm sorry. And it was the it was the 12v that we wanted. So my final answer here would have been the 2v plus 3.